All right. So, in one of the videos, I showed you how to fill out a herbicide application ticket for doing a total vegetation control ticket or a TVC ticket. So I'm going to walk you through now how to do an SVC ticket, so a selective vegetation control work ticket. They are very similar, but there are some notable differences. So let's say this site right here that is green, let's say it was sprayed May 12th. So now August comes around and they've decided that there are some noxious weeds around this northwest corner of the site and they want you to spray them. So you'll come in and you'll do an SVC ticket for it. So you'll start it off is if you look to the left of the screen here, you'll see there's 4 different buttons with patterns on them. The very bottom one is a camera, and the one right above it is the polygon button. So this is the button that you'll use to make polygons. So what you'll do is you'll click on it and hold it, and now you can tap on the screen to make your polygon. So let's say this is kind of the general area that they want to get done for selective vegetation control. So now we'll save it. So if you click on this ticket here, you'll see that there's no information at the very top. Whereas when you click on this ticket, you can see all the information up there. So what I might do is I'll click on edit. And I'll copy this information. And now I'll click on edit on this polygon I just made. And I'll paste it over here. And then at the very end, I'll write SVC. And I'll save that. So now we click on it and we see all of our information there. So let's say we show up to the site, we're ready to spray it. We spray the site the way they want to, and now we have to do our form afterwards. So we'll get to the form, we see the area, so we see how big it is, but that isn't as necessary for our SVC tickets. So for SVC tickets, for the most part, we aren't going to go off of what the size of the polygon is, but we're going to base our size of the site off of how much herbicide we spray. So I'll get into that a bit more when I start walking you through the forms here. So we'll go back to forms, click on add form. We'll scroll down and we'll see Marksman Billable Work Ticket 2020. So we'll click on that one, click on date, and it'll start walking us through. So let's say that it is go back. We'll say it's August 19th, and they want us doing SVC. So that's the date right now. Marksman Division, we'll say that we're out of Lloydminster. Type of work ticket, it's herbicide application that we'll be doing. So we'll select herbicide application, swipe to the next screen, and we are doing selective vegetation control, or SVC work ticket. So selective vegetation control means that we are being selective in the types of weeds that we are trying to kill. So maybe in this area they have lots of Canada thistle and perennial sow thistle that are coming up, but the rest of the area is all grass. So they don't want us to come in and kill the grass. They just want us to come in and only kill the Canada thistle and the perennial sow thistle. So we're going to go in with a tank mixture. So we might come in with Clearview or Truvist or Navius. And these are 3 chemicals that are considered to be broadleaf chemicals. So they're not going to kill your grasses. All they're going to kill are your broadleaf weeds, such as your Canada thistle or your perennial sow thistle. So we'll select SVC and we'll move on to the next screen. Size in meters. So how you fill this box in is you put it in off of how much chemical you sprayed. So even though the polygon you drew was almost 4,000 square meters, let's say that we didn't spray that much. So in that polygon, within it, there was only a small area that had Canadian thistle and perennial south thistle. So if we only sprayed 100 liters, we're going to put down the same thing for size. So 100 liters, if we're spraying at 1,000 liters a hectare, would be equivalent to 1,000 square meters. So let's say if you're doing 1,000 liters a hectare, 1 hectare is 10,000 square meters. That means that if you spray 1,000 liters, you should cover 10,000 square meters. So that's all we're doing here, is we're just running the math. So 100 liters of chemical would be equivalent to 1,000 square meters. So go to the next screen, job number. So we're in the Husky Furnace field. So we're going to scroll until we find Husky Energy Furnace, and we'll select that job number. Go to the next screen, crew members. So let's say it was just myself this time that had to go out and do it. So I just go out to spray this area. My crew supervisor for the day is John. Let's say I'm in 2001 for the truck number. And my start time, let's say I got there first thing in the morning. So it's 6 a.m. and I only sprayed 100 liters, so it didn't take me very long. It only took me about 15 minutes. So I'll say I finished at 6:15. So that equates to 0.25 hours. As 15, so 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. So that equates to 0.25. So we'll go to the next screen. Method of application, handgun. I had to get out of the truck and grab the handgun and stretch the hose out to go spray the area. Spraying methodology, entire area. So I want to change this box because I didn't spray the entire area. I only sprayed a portion of it where there were weeds growing. So I'll say spot treatments only, just because I only had spot treatments on certain areas of the site. So maybe in one of the corners there was a couple weeds growing, and maybe in the middle there's a big patch of Canada thistle, and then maybe on the southwest corner there's another couple weeds. So I didn't spray the whole area. I only sprayed a few spots where I saw weeds coming up. That's my mama bear. Anyways, sorry for that rude interruption. She oversteps her ground sometimes. Number of Texas gates sprayed. So we'll say 0. The Texas gates have already been sprayed on this site as we were here earlier on in the year. We'll go rate of solution sprayed. We're still spraying at 1,000 liters a hectare, and we sprayed 100 liters. So now we have to put in the weather again. So did it rain within 1 hour before, 1 hour after? No, we'll say it was a nice sunny day. It was early in the morning, so it wasn't very windy. It was only 0 to 3 kilometers. We'll say wind source was coming from the southwest. Soil type, sand loam. Temperature was 23 degrees. And the humidity was 42. So again, this information here, you reference your weather network. It'll tell you exactly what the weather is for the specific area that you're currently in. And you just take the numbers that it gives you and punch it right into these boxes. We try to get it so that everybody in the field is using Weather Network. We don't want people using different weather apps because sometimes the weather will be slightly different. So we want everyone to be consistent. So everyone uses Weather Network. We'll know that all the information is the same across the platforms. So we'll swipe to the next screen. Select herbicide tank mix. So here we have all the different SVC tank mixes. So we have Truvis, Clearview, Navius, Milestone. So let's say that we went out and we just sprayed Truvist, as it was only Canada Thistle and Perennial South Thistle that we had to kill. This chemical is a granule chemical. So it comes in like little grains, and you mix it in with your tank of water, and it eventually becomes diluted and mixes in with the rest of the water that you have. So with any granule chemicals, we want to use a surfactant as well. So a surfactant is a liquid, and you mix that into your tank, and it just helps the chemical to stick better to the plants in order to effectively control them. So we'll say, yes, we did use a surfactant. And now we get to enter in what our targeted vegetation was. So were we targeting all grasses and vegetation? No, we weren't, because we wanted to leave the grasses alive. So all that we targeted was broadleaf weeds. So we'll select that, our broadleaf weeds being Canada Thistle and Perennial South Thistle being the weeds that we wanted to control. And then the box below here, we type in exactly what the weeds were that we were spraying for. So for this site, we'll check off Canada Thistle, and we'll check off Perennial South Thistle as the two weeds that we were trying to kill. Oops. Distance to water, yes, we were greater than 30 meters. Empty container disposal. If we have an empty bottle, we'll say that we rinsed it in the tank and then we left it on the chemical bin on the truck. So we'll just say rinsed, left on truck, and swipe to the next screen. Did you have a herbicide spill? No, we did not. How was the spill contained? We didn't have one, so we don't have to worry about that box. Flag site to return, we'll say no. We got it all finished in the morning. It didn't take us long. We don't have to come back to do it again. So we won't fill that out. Add a new picture, yes. So for an SVC ticket, as far as pictures go, it's the exact same as a TVC ticket. We want to have a picture of the site that we're spraying, and we want to have a picture of the LSD sign. So for this example, we'll take a picture of the grassy area that we sprayed. We might take a picture of the weeds that were on it, so get a close-up picture of the weeds that were growing in the area, and then we'll get a picture of the site sign on our way out. Our comments will say showed up on site, sprayed small area on west side of site for thistle. And then we'll take our picture of that site. We'll say add another picture. We'll take a picture of the site sign on our way out. We'll say do not add another picture. And we'll say save form and exit. We can exit this now. So this will take a few minutes to fully upload and everything and change colors. But for SVC, what it'll do is it'll change the polygon to be pink. So I'll just change this right now so you can get an idea of it. So that's what it'll look like afterwards. So that way, if it's green, if it's changed to be green, we know that somebody went in, they did total vegetation control, they sprayed everything and killed everything on site. If it's pink right here, we know that somebody had to go in and they did broadleaf work. I can click on that polygon now, click on forms, and I can see the form for who went in and sprayed it.